I was really connected to just you're expressing the emotion that you're feeling around you walking in a way that furthers Jesus's desire. And I I don't think that I've experienced that from someone before saying it quite that way. Like, um, this is Jesus's deep desire. This is what was most significant to his heart. And the fact that your heart is mirroring that and um, to the degree that you're touching emotion, I think I more commonly experience people saying, "Oh, this is what Jesus did, so therefore I do it." But it's very kind of like stays on that rational level. What has it been like for you, or what has it taken for you? Basically, I want to know, like, how did you get your heart aligned with him in that way? So that your heart, I mean, we're feeling it palpably in the conversation that your heart is in alignment with him. How did that come to be?
Well, before we started this, we sought to become one of my spiritual disciplines before I go into conversations like this is to seek to be fully present to God's heart, to my own heart, and then the heart of the people I'm with. And so, even as I prayed before we started this podcast, I had a deep sense of emotion that God's heart is to love. And if we think about creation, that God created us out of love to be loved so that we might love. And he loved us so much, he still created us knowing what it would cost him. And so then in writing the book that we're just publishing, there's a chapter on the way the Heavenly Father prepared Jesus, his incarnate son, for Gethsemane and the cross. And as I meditated for years on that process, I've come to see the love of the Father and the love of the Son in Isaiah 52 and 53 in ways I've never seen before. It's not just the physical pain of the cross. It's not just the taking on the penalty of sin, which is incredible, but it's also the suffering of taking on our distortions, our pain, our suffering, the entire brokenness of the world. So I've just come to a much, much deeper understanding of the heart of the Father and the heart of the Son to give me the opportunity to be loved. And then, our deep desires are a reflection of his deep desires. And so as I've begun to understand my deep desires, I've begun to understand his more, and I've come to believe his deepest desire is to love us and for us to let him love us. And so part of it, man, is being 73 and realizing the space between now and eternity grows much closer than I'm aware of at your tender young age. And so I'm more poignantly aware of living for eternity. And part of the emotion is realizing the pain of vulnerability is worth it. When you see the impact in my own life, when I see the impact in your life, Nathan's life, when I see the impact in marriages, families, pastors, like I just shared about, it's worth the pain because when we choose a life of vulnerability, we choose a life of pain because we will be hurt. There's just no way out. We live in a fallen world. So, yeah, that's how I answer your question. So,
Larry, do you mind sharing what you're feeling right now?
I, I'm walking through a very tender place in my family with a precious member of my family I love deeply that's struggling. And so I think I'm touching just the burden of vulnerability. I'm touching, and I'm just touching it's worth it. I mean, I finished our book with, I look back to age 20 when I caught a vision of wholehearted community without even knowing the reality of it. And the pain, the challenges, the cost, it's all worth it. when you see the Father's heart satisfied, and when you see the lives of people actually being transformed by the uh, unconditional, transforming love of God, His grace, and His truth in community, when you actually see uh, that kind of transforming love, it's worth it. So I think I'm touching right now the tenderness of my ongoing burden for those I love, and the joy of seeing those I love being transformed by the love, grace, and truth of Christ in a wholehearted, vulnerable community.
That's it's very powerful to hear you share that. And what really jumps out to me is just how vulnerable it is for you to connect with this and to relate it to us. And it takes vulnerability just to bring up these concepts and to talk about them. And in that sense, you're modeling exactly what you've been cultivating throughout your career. So thank you for sharing that.